1970s began sadly for Contract Cultivation when its founder, Jock Smith, was killed in a grader accident.
Well, Jock had just come out of hospital about a week or so before, and he had had a hip operation. And we had a new Caterpillar grader, and right or wrong, he would have a drive on it. I tried to keep him off it, but it just wasn't on. And the poor fella, he graded away quite all right for a little while, and then there was a lot of trucks come with big rock to stabilise the fill, and he sort of got in the way a wee bit, and then he backed out of the way, and he just didn't manage to push the clutch in and stop the big machine. After the hip operation, he didn't just have the strength in that left foot to push the clutch in, and the thing went over the bank and rolled on top of him. And being no stabiliser bar on top of the cab, it crashed him in again the steering wheel. We managed to get him out about a half an hour afterwards. We had doctors there, ambulances, and all sorts of things. We got him to hospital, but he must have got hurt pretty bad, but jammed between the steering wheel and the back of the cab. And of course the poor chap passed away a few hours afterwards. Very sad business.
Despite the tragedy, the company pushed on, working a whole range of contracts, including widening Kaikoura Valley Road. 1973 saw Contract Cultivation make another of its many visits to the Mount Cook Highway. They were sizable contracts. The road needed to be raised and realigned. To put it in perspective, each of the sections the company worked on cost twice the equivalent of the Caversham bypass, which it would come to work on in the 1980s, and the work also required far bigger and heavier machinery. The Mount Cook contract was also significant in that it proved to be one of the last construction camp jobs. Huts and long tram-style caravans sleeping up to 4 men with a cookhouse and a ablution block and a massive workshop. The years following Jock's death were an important time for Contract Cultivation. It was over this period that Don Finney, another important figure in the life of Contract Cultivation, entered the scene, taking over the management of the company. Don Finney's successor, Peter Ashcroft.
Well, Don Finney was the manager, I think when Jock was killed at Cattle Flat, I'm not sure. But about a year later I joined the company, and Contract Cultivation had about 30 of the staff. Pretty good crew, guys. And in the next 2 or 3 years we invested huge amounts of money under Don's leadership. We spent $1,000 a day for 2 years. In my knowledge of the history of Contract Cultivation, apart from in the heydays in the early 1960s before I was there, it was probably as good as Contract ever got.
By this stage, Contract Cultivation had the skills to take on a varied range of projects, building foundations for the Dunedin electricity building, developing the Roxburgh airstrip and the Tyree flood protection scheme. The latter was an important job designed to contain the persistent flooding that was dogging local farmers. Nature has a habit of showing who's boss. No one knows better than the hardened veterans of the earth-moving industry. The Abbotsford slip of 1979 was a chilling reminder of the ability of the land and the elements to bite back. Thousands of tons of earth and dozens of houses were brought down in the slip. Contract Cultivation spent months on the site, including sorting out the damage to the Green Island Rugby Club grounds at the bottom of the massive slip. The roading work also continued, with big projects such as the Caversham bypass, as well as smaller road straightening and widening contracts. There is no longer the same sort of demand for new roads. Contract Cultivation has diversified increasingly into drainage work, excavation, and even some port reclamation. In some ways, the company's come back to its roots, in a full circle of more than 60 years circumference. But what was it that made this family company a success? Recently, the gathering of past employees, many other people in associations with Contract Cultivation gave some clues. The big turnout was in itself a testament to the regard in which the company and the Smith family is held.